Hi, Mick.
Tony, how you doing?
I'm good, yeah. How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you. Yeah, very well.
It's a huge week, of course, and unfortunately you're still missing some key players. Can you just update us, first of all, on whether Shane Duffy and David McGoldrick have any chance of travelling?
I think they have. You've probably seen updates on it from them and from us. I had a message from Shane earlier on. He's feeling good. Didn't say he's fully fit and ready to go, but he's feeling good, which is he's optimistic. I haven't spoken to Didsy for a while, actually, well, for a couple of days, but Chris Wilder he mentioned, they're doing everything they can to get him fit. They want him to be fit for them, of course. But both lads want to be fit, and if they can get there, I'll wait as long as I can.
And would you look to maybe even ask him to come for the second game only?
Of course, if they're not fit for the first one, yes. Yeah, absolutely.
And your thoughts about the defensive issues then that come up with missing them? Obviously Kevin Long and John Egan played in the last game.
Yeah.
And you have the issue at left back, I should say, because of Enda Stevens' suspension.
Yeah, well, we knew that, didn't we, after the last game? So that's not been any secret to anybody. Greg Cunningham got injured. He got a nasty knee injury on Saturday. He was in contention. The Doc played, and we know he's played at left back. So they're my options. Of course, Derek Williams is in, left sider. I will pick out the players I've got, and that's if they don't come, if the other lads don't come in, it's not about them. It's about the ones who come in and play, of course.
You looked at perhaps, or thought certainly of Conor Hourihan possibly playing there?
No, I didn't.
You mentioned you might have.
No, I didn't. I told you after the game last time I didn't. I said I played him there, and he wasn't in contention to play at left back, no. And he's too valuable in midfield, actually, to be quite honest. And he's back playing, which is great. He's in the team scoring goals, doing what he does.
So who is in contention for left back? Derek Williams, Matt Doherty, would you be happy him there?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
So what will happen this week? Or will you try it in training and see?
Of course, yes. We'll go through some partner play and put them in their positions. And I don't have to see Matt Doherty play at fullback. I mean, there's been enough people screaming for him to play, so he might get his chance at left back. Don't have that many options, of course. Derek Williams, who can play there, but he sees himself as a left-sided centre-back, and I think that's his best position. So, yeah, of course, I'll be putting the back four in and we'll do some defending together.
It's brilliant for you, though, the amount of players that have just scored this weekend. Obviously, Aaron Connolly got all the headlines, but, you had Jeff Hendrick, Conor Hourihan, as you mentioned, Scott Hogan as well. So they've probably come into the camp with a bit of a pep in their step, I imagine.
Yeah, I reckon if we went back 2 weeks and thought and had a look at what was going on then, when Jeff wasn't playing regularly because he came and scored, Connor wasn't in regularly, Scott Hogan had been out of the team, so they all come back in. They've all played like Scott was a sub, I know. It's a lot because we knew that Richards was going to be missing, we knew Ender's going to be missing, potentially Duffer's going to be missing anyway. But it looked a lot brighter on Saturday evening this week than it did 2 weeks ago when some of them weren't even playing.
Aaron Connolly grabbed all the headlines, of course. Would it be too big a leap to expect him to start or have some part to play against Georgia?
I wouldn't have put him in the squad if I thought it was. So, no.
And did you see his performance?
I've seen it since. I didn't see it at the time, no.
What did you make of it?
Very well. Robbie was watching it as well.
What did you think of it?
He was excellent. Yeah, he was. And his goals were both very good. People talk about his second one. I thought his first one was brilliant because his movement was good. He got across the defender, and then having had it saved, he was the presence of mind. He didn't just have a little dig at it and then run off. He spun and put it in the net. So really good. And I saw him against Montenegro, and I was really impressed with him that day playing on the left. And he really has got some personality on the pitch, that's for sure, and plays with a personality.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hiya, Mick.
How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. You said after the last game you didn't feel that maybe Tbilisi in Switzerland was a place for the youngsters to make debuts. Do you sort of stand by that, and you think you'd rather go with the more experienced?
Yeah, but I've also said that if somebody gets in the first team in the Premier League and playing well and scoring goals, then he's every chance of getting a chance in the team. So that kind of neutralises the first comment, if you like, for my head. I don't think it is. You know, is it the right place to make a debut? No, if he hasn't played. You see, this was all on the back of Aaron playing well in the 21s and scoring. This is all on the back of Troy Parrott playing well in the 21s. I've said all along that if they're in the Premier League playing well, scoring goals, they'll get a chance.
He impressed you, I think, for the under-21s playing out on the left-hand side. Is that an option, or do you see him purely as a centre-forward?
No, it's an option. That's an option. I mean, we played with three strikers all along, and I think they've got to be flexible. If you play up there, you've got to be able to drop in on either side, because you don't just play in straight lines and stay right or left. That is certainly an option, yeah.
Would it be a gamble to start him in Tbilisi?
Depends who I've got fit, doesn't it, really, I suppose. Not at all, no.
In terms of who you got fit, who's got the better chance, do you think, Shane Duffy or David McGoldrick?
I don't know.
Do you have to put a time limit on, because obviously Tony touched on it, you've got to prepare, you've got to get a back four in line, and is there a time where you think, right, okay, that's it, we have to make a decision? And it will be several days before?
I've just told Shane via a text message. I responded to his message. I said the plane's leaving at 2 o'clock from Dublin Airport to Tbilisi, so we'll keep the seat with extra legroom for you, as we normally do. Don't be late.
What day's that you going?
Thursday.
Thursday, okay.
Didsey, I haven't spoken to him since, but he's been on the grass, he's been training. As I said, they're all far more optimistic about them being involved. And, you know, if they don't come to Tbilisi, they get a flight to Geneva and we'll see them there if they're fit for that game.
And in terms of, it's the end of the group, it's getting to the business end, you've been through this before, what are the key things that the players need to realise and you need to get through to them?
I think they have to understand how well they've done already. And they don't have to do anything else. They have to play the way we've played, commit themselves the way they have committed themselves to the team, to the players, to how we've done it, and produce that kind of a performance that we did in Denmark and we did against Switzerland. Because it's the toughest end of the competition, I'm fully aware of that. But they've been great so far. Same again from me.
Hi, Mick.
Hello.
Were you surprised by Aaron Connolly's performance the last day?
No, I was pleased by it. Somebody has to play him at some stage, don't they? And I'm glad that Brighton played. Don't forget he'd been in and done well when he's come on as a substitute. But I was delighted with him when I saw him against Montenegro, but that's a completely different game to playing in the Premier League. Armenia, sorry, that's Montenegro. I've got him down as Montenegro twice anyway, so... thanks, Carl. So anyway, against Armenia, I thought he played really well. And I was delighted with him. The TC went to watch him against Villa. Was it Villa at Brighton? I think it was. I say I do watch a few games anyway. Was it the ladies that played Montenegro? Oh, I knew I'd seen him play. Thank goodness for that. He was delighted with him in that. He went to see Troy on the Tuesday and he saw Aaron on the Wednesday, and it was Aaron that caught his eye more than anything else, because, well, Spurs lost at Colchester anyway. So no, I'm not surprised by him. I'm delighted by his performances, and said all along, if he gets in the Premier League team, then he's got to be in contention for us.
And you spoke last week about all the players who would be ahead of him in the pecking order in the team, but because of what he's done at the weekend, has he now risen up that pecking order in your eyes, do you think?
Who did I mention? God bless you. Who did I mention?
I think it's McLean first off, so he's not ahead of him.
Still in front of him.
Scott
Who else?
Hogan.
Who?
Scott Hogan.
Did I say they're all in front of him, did I? I'll have to look back and you'll have to show me that one. They were in front of him, being in the team, of course they were. but having got in the Premier League team and scored 2 goals and 2 really good goals, then he's put himself in contention, just like everybody else. Scott Hogan was probably getting out of contention, and he comes in and scores. You know, I suppose I'm surprised I haven't been asked about James McCarthy, Kieran Clark, and who else played? Oh, Ryan Manning. Yeah, Ryan Manning as well, because that's apparently trending all over the place, I'm getting told now. So Shane Long, yeah, that's the other one. So, do you know, I'm just delighted he's done really well, and he's given me a real good option that if I want to play him, I can. He plays with personality. The fact that he's coming here on a high with some momentum from scoring at the weekend, that's nice as well. That's given him some confidence. But then we've had a few others who've scored at the weekend as well, which is great.
And just, you touched on it earlier. Do you have a deadline in mind for the 2 boys, for McGoldrick and Duffy?
Thursday at 2:00 for the game to get on the plane.
Do you think they'll make it, or?
I really do think I've answered that. I've no idea really. I'm hopeful. I'm more optimistic than I was. Both the players are more optimistic than they were. Yeah, they'd have to be travelling with us on Thursday to be in contention for Saturday. You know, if they couldn't fly on Thursday, then saying they're fit on Friday, then I'd have to be saying that ain't good enough. But if they flew out on Thursday and they were fit to train on Sunday, then they'd be in contention for Tuesday's game.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Mick, sorry, Mick, you took the words out of my mouth. I was going to ask you about James McCarthy, who put in a good shift at the weekend. Just in terms of I suppose the importance you spoke about him at the start of your tenure. Is he on standby for maybe the second game, or is he?
No,
he's not.
He was in the squad of 41 and named him. I spoke to him actually just the other day, and he himself said he hadn't had any games, and I think maybe he was a bit caught out, surprised that he played 80 minutes. He's not on standby now. They all are. All the 41 that are named. But the 3 lads who've played all along have been in different class, and I thought Josh Cullen and Brownie both did very well in the game against Bulgaria, and of course Jack came on and helped change the game. So I'm delighted with the ones I've got here.
And is that, in that sense, is that the importance of the Bulgaria game, which allowed you to see players playing for you in your system going into these 2 games?
Absolutely it is, yeah, of course. I don't think one moment that James McCarthy couldn't fit into the system. He plays 4-3-3 often enough, or 4-4-2, whatever. He's just a midfield player, and he's a very good one. I wonder how he's feeling this morning, actually, and having had 80 minutes. You know, I would imagine he's feeling a bit slightly stiff and sore this morning, having come through that for the first time. But I really do prefer to talk about the ones who are here as opposed to the ones who aren't here, because they're not really my concern, the ones who aren't here.
And just to finish, just thinking as you speak here, you said you're flying out at 2:00 on Thursday. With the length of flight and the time difference, you'd probably be arriving midnight, early hours of Friday morning. Is that enough time to be in Georgia to prep for the game?
Yeah.
Happy enough with that,
Yeah.
Hi Mick, sorry, this came up at a press conference a few weeks ago. Is James McLean an option at left back from the start against Georgia?
Possibly.
Because you said at the time that he's an option within a game if there's an emergency, or if Enda Stevens has to go off.
He is, but he also gives us a huge amount in terms of playing in the position that he does. So, yeah, I've got to have a look at all options, but we'll see.
If Shane Duffy doesn't make it, I mean, is there room to draft someone in his stead, like Kieran Clark, for example? I know you mentioned him.
Yeah.
And is there a deadline on that either, in terms of getting people in?
Not really. No. For the game on Saturday, it'll be Thursday, I guess. But at the moment, I'm hoping that I'll deal with it if he's not.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he's going to be fit, and he gave me enough cause to be optimistic today.
Yeah. Just briefly on Aaron Connolly, obviously we'll all be impressed by his goals, but is there anything else to his game and in that performance against Tottenham that really impressed you and Robbie?
Me and Robbie.
Well, you said Robbie. Robbie had seen the game, and
Robbie had seen him, yeah. Robbie sent me a message, just said he's scored 2 goals and played really well. So we've sort of discussed a little bit, but his performance, I think he's very quick to start. He's very direct. He's happy to take people on. His movement's very good. His hold-up play was good. Said he plays with personality, and he's got a bit of an aggressive in him, which I really like.
yeah. What do you mean by play with personality?
Looks like he's enjoying it. Looks like he's thriving on it. Looks like he really wants to be out there, and he put it up to the opposition as well. That's what I mean by personality. Some people can go out and play, and it's a bit like, well, they've played. Others play with a real bit of personality.
And that can obviously make a difference in their actual performance then.
Yeah, would you say James McLean plays with a personality? I would. I'm not going to talk about anybody I think that doesn't play with a personality, but I'm just talking in our team. I think so. You know he's on the pitch. You know he's always going to be doing something. You see his personality at the end of the game in the Swiss game when he barges Mbabu off the ball and puts the cross in. That's what I'm talking about. That kind of personality.
And my last question is the fact that you've got so many players coming in now, having had really good weekends with their clubs and so many scored goals.
Yeah.
Does that make a significant or a palpable difference in the squad?
I think when you're playing well and you've scored goals, you come in, you're just feeling all right about yourself. I'll tell you what makes a palpable difference is when they're all, if you've got a lot of them struggling, and thankfully we haven't had that, to be quite honest. But if you've got a lot of them out of the teams back at the clubs and they're not happy, that can make a difference. Although, if there's 75% of them, they generally rally around the others and they all come in and they all want to be here. And then they, that from that point of view, they enjoy it. But why would it not be a real bonus for me and for everybody else that players are playing well, playing in the team, scoring goals? We've had a debutant who has scored 2 goals. We've got a camp where people are feeling good about themselves. Yeah.
Mick, sorry, you mentioned the kind of footballing personality of Aaron Connolly. He was in last night, I think. The press release said that he'd already joined up with the squad. Do you take some time, maybe on a personal level, to try and sit down with him and gauge his actual personality, or what his ability to go into a game like this and cope with it, or do you just judge that from what he's done in the Premier League?
Well, put it this way: I judge the fact that I might pick him on his football personality. That's for sure. But yes, I do spend time with them, all the players, and have a chat with them. Yeah.
And what have you made of him?
On a personal level.
He came in late last night. I saw him, shook hands with him, said hello, told him well done, as everybody else did. And I've barely seen him since, so I've not had a chance to sit down and have a chat with him.
He's the first player that young, the first Irish player that young to score a couple of goals in the Premier League since Robbie, 20 years ago. What do you make of his potential? I appreciate that the way these things is that we all get carried away about it. But what is your assessment of where he could be as a player? Do you think at this stage?
I'll tell you what, I'll watch him in training over the next couple of days. I'll get a chance to sit down and chat to him and see what kind of a lad he is. If he plays in either of the games, I'll be in a better place to tell you, because I barely know him. So to judge him on what little bit I know of him now would be wrong. Except he's an exciting prospect by the looks of him.
Any last couple of live questions, please?
Just based on you spoke about briefly Denmark's result in Tbilisi, and the fact that we have them at home at the end of the group, does that change your approach going into the game on Saturday, tactically, or even in terms of what you're looking for results-wise?
No, not at all. No. Just going to try and win the game on Saturday. Absolutely, yeah. That's what we try and do.
Nicholas, to finish out, have you ponder the possibility of being qualified by the end of these 2 games with against Square?
No. No, just go and play the game. I can sit there and do the maths and drive myself mad in terms of if somebody trying to get hold of me, I'm busy. That's okay. Don't worry about it. They all go off in somebody's pocket at some stage. I haven't given it. No, people have said it to me, but I don't think that. I think it'll go right to the very end, and that's what we're prepared for. I honestly believe that, bit of a cliche, we should concentrate on Georgia. And if we win that, then we're in a better position, aren't we? If we go there and I'm concentrating on what might happen with Denmark or what might happen in the Switzerland game, and we take the eye off the ball with this one, then that would be just stupid of me. And there's no way I'd be like that at all.
Is there a result in Copenhagen that you'd prefer? No. 2 big teams playing against each other.
No, I tell you, I'd like to beat Georgia. That's what I like. And if we can take care of our results, I cannot take care of anything else, and they're just all the things that I can't control. So they don't bother me.
Jack Byrne did well last time out against Bulgaria. In terms of how you see him developing in midfield for you, how do you want to see him kind of progress in terms of his position more so, or where the positions he takes up on the field?
If Jack gets the opportunity to play, I would, or to be part of it at all, I'd like him to do what he did when he came on against Bulgaria, and that is to get hold of the ball. And he made a really incisive pass to end that ended up with James Collins' goal. And he made a good delivery from a free kick, from a corner kick, which is, I was at Sligo the other night, and when he texted me, he makes people defend because he's got good deliveries. In terms of his positional play, I've said all along, if he is the one getting the ball off 2 centre-halves, he's never going to be doing that for me, which he didn't against Bulgaria. He was the more attack-minded one, and he was the one supplying the ammo for others, which that's what he has to do in my mind.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I knew I'd watch Montenegro. I'm not bothered, mate. I can't be helped. See ya.